Hello, and welcome to NEDCO's Introduction to the SBA 504 Loan Program. Today we're going to discuss the basic information for understanding what the SBA 504 Loan Program is, how it works, and how it can benefit both lenders and borrowers to secure financing at better terms than traditional bank financing. I'm Jason Culver, Chief Credit Officer at NEDCO, Nebraska's oldest and most trusted SBA 504 loan provider. The SBA 504 loan program is a partnership between a borrower, a bank, and NEDCO. Typically, the structure looks like this. The bank provides 50% of the project cost, the SBA 504 loan covers 40%, and the borrower provides 10% equity. This structure allows businesses to access long-term, fixed-rate financing with lower down payments, while banks reduce their overall lending risk. SBA 504 loans are designed for long-term business growth, so they can be used for things like owner-occupied real estate, new construction, renovations, long-term equipment, closing costs, and professional fees. However, a 504 loan is not suitable for all types of businesses. A 504 loan can't be used for working capital, inventory, vehicles, apartment buildings, or ownership buyouts. The program is focused on supporting business expansion through fixed assets, not short-term working capital or business acquisitions. Here's how the process works. First, the borrower applies with both NEDCO and their bank for financing. Once SBA approval is secured, the bank secures an interim loan to purchase the property or equipment. During this time, NEDCO works closely with the borrower and lender to meet all SBA requirements. Finally, the SBA loan is funded through a debenture sale, which pays down the interim bank loan and provides permanent financing. The timeline for applying for a 504 loan is fairly straightforward. Step 1 is providing all necessary documents and application forms. This usually takes about a week. Step 2, NEDCO reviews the file and obtains loan committee approval, about another week. Step 3, the package is submitted to the SBA, which typically takes 1 to 2 weeks for review. By week 4, the SBA issues its final approval, and the closing process begins. From start to finish, borrowers can expect about 4 weeks on average, depending on complexity. Rates and terms are another advantage of the SBA 504 program. Banks set the rate and terms on their 50% portion, with a minimum 10-year term and amortization that's pretty similar to the SBA 504 loan. The 504 portion is fully amortized over either 10, 20, or 25 years at a fixed rate. Rates are set monthly and remain locked for the life of the loan once funding occurs. For most businesses, loans can go up to $5 million or $5.5 million for manufacturers. There are several reasons to choose a 504 loan over a conventional loan. First, fixed interest rates provide long-term stability to the borrowers, knowing their 504 loan payment won't ever increase. Second, payments can be spread out over 25 years, improving cash flow. Third, down payments can be as low as 10%, helping businesses preserve cash for operations. Fourth, interest rates are highly competitive and are usually below market rates. And finally, the 504 loan reduces risk to the bank, making it possible for lenders to participate in larger projects while only carrying half the. When it comes to qualifying for a 504 loan, there are a few eligibility requirements to watch out for. Businesses must be 100% owned by U.S. citizens or licensed permanent residents. For real estate, existing buildings must be at least 51% owner-occupied, and new construction buildings must be at least 60% owner-occupied. Borrowers cannot have prior losses to the federal government, including other SBA loans or government-backed student loans. They must demonstrate the ability to repay through projections for startups or expansions. Finally, any owner with 20% or more ownership must personally guarantee the loan. Here's an example of the sources and uses for a hypothetical $1 million project. On the left, we totaled up the project costs, which are for acquisition of an existing property, but with some additional renovations and equipment costs as well. Once all eligible costs are added up, we then split those costs with the bank covering 50% of the project, the SBA covering an additional 40% in a second lien position, and finally, the borrower's down payment covering the remaining 10% of project costs. Typically, the down payment is 10%. However, for startups, an additional 5% is required. A startup is any new business with less than 2 years of operations. Additionally, for special use properties like hotels or gas stations, another 5% is required. Special use properties are any building with a limited use that can't easily be converted to another business model. If you're unsure, the best option is always to contact NEDCO and see if your building is considered special use. If a project is both a startup and special use, then the total down payment is 20%. The SBA 504 program can also be used to refinance existing debt. Borrowers can refinance conventional and SBA loans up to a 90% loan to value. To qualify, at least 75% of the original use of loan proceeds needs to have been for 504 eligible purposes, such as purchasing real estate and equipment. Refinancing into a 504 loan allows borrowers to re-amortize the debt over 20 to 25 years, lowering monthly payments and often reducing interest compared to a variable rate 7A loan. In addition, equity can be cashed out for eligible working capital uses, such as salaries, inventory, and utilities. Wondering how to get started? A good first step is always to begin a conversation with your banker and let them know you're interested in going the 504 route for your financing. You'll also want to have a property picked out, as there is no pre-approval process. All necessary bids and purchase agreements need to be in place for the application. Be sure to gather your financials, projections, and business plan to help the application process move smoothly. Once all necessary components are in place, you can begin the formal application process with NEDCO. Thanks for joining me today. As always, be sure to subscribe to our e-letter for future training opportunities and to stay up to date on current interest rates. If you have any questions about 504 loans or want to schedule in-person training for your bank, please be sure to contact us through our website at nedcoloans.org.